Today we'll be creating the amazing intro animation of Netflix's Stranger Things. Hey everyone, this is Mohith from Thennika Creations. Welcome to another tutorial in Fusion 9. This will be the first part of the tutorial, and if you happen to like this video, please do support the channel, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon. So we are inside Fusion right now. Let's set the time range to 360 frames, 360. Okay. Next, we'll go up here and add a text plus node by clicking on this button. Then drag this text plus node into the viewer 1. Fit. Go into the text field and type in stranger. Okay. Next, we are going to change the font. Press B. Well, this is the font we are going to use. It's called Mohith. I guess that's how it's pronounced. I'm also going to increase the size of the text. Set this value to 0.16. Then let's go to shading. Click on this button here to change the text from solid to outline look. One more thing I'm going to do is to click on this button over here to make the background black instead of that annoying checkerboard pattern we had. Let's also go ahead and rename the text plus node. Click on that. Press F2 and let's name it Stranger. Now select this one, Ctrl C to copy. Let's paste it here. Rename it as Things. Also change the text content to Things. Drag it to viewer 2. For this viewer as well, click on this button to make it black. Next, let's go ahead and connect the output of Stranger to the output of Things. Drag it to viewer 2. The two text items are right now overlapping each other. So select the merge node and set the Y value for the center to 0.33. So now this is how the merge looks like. Right now Stranger is below Things, whereas we need it the other way around. So let's flip the foreground and the background for this merge node. And to do that, press Ctrl T on the keyboard. And in the viewer, we can see that the Stranger and Things have interchanged its position. Great. Well, as of now, it looks like this. But if you look at the Stranger Things title, the S and R are both bigger in size compared to the rest of the characters. So let's see how we can do that. Let's select this text called Stranger, and if we click and drag over S, we can select the individual character. And let's go ahead and increase its size. Well, the size of the entire text item increases. So let's click on Ctrl Z to undo that. To increase the size of this S alone or any individual character in this text, we'll be using something called character level styling. So I'll go to the style text, right click and go to character level styling. Click on that. So the character level styling is added as a modifier. So let's go to the modifier tab, open this up. The character level styling is generally used to style the individual characters in a text node. So we can start adjusting various parameters, but before we do anything else, let's right click at the text and once again select character level styling. The reason for adding another character level styling is because we'll also be animating individual characters, and we'll do that at two different levels. I'll be explaining all of those as we start animating. So for now, trust me with this and let's move on. So close this down and open this up. As of now, this S is selected for the default text node and not for this character level styling. So let's click and drag to select it. So now we get all the parameters for that particular character. Let's increase the size of S to 0.24. So we have the S enlarged. Do the same thing for R. Select it, set the size to 0.24. Now let's select these characters and then go to shading. and go down to transform, open it up and set Y of the offset to 0.2. This is more or less how we would like it to look. But if we zoom in and look closer, in fact, let me click on high quality here so that we can see properly. The thickness of the outline of yes is more than that of this one. So basically, since we increased its size, the thickness corresponds to that size. So let's select yes, go to thickness and set its value to 0.13. So if you zoom in now, you can see that they are similar. Let's do the same thing for R as well. Set this value to 0.13. Let's click on fit. There's something else as well. We need all these characters closer to each other so that their edges almost overlap. So select all these characters, go to transform and set the character spacing to 0.95. So this is the result. We need the characters in things also closer. So let's click on things this time. Go to tools, right click at the styled text and go to character level styling. Then go to the modifier tab and like earlier, let's do the same thing. Right click and add one more character level styling. Close that and open the first one. Click and drag to select all the characters in things and go to transform and this time set the character spacing to 0.98. So this is how it looks right now. Now let's get into animating these individual characters. So we need the T and E to move downwards from the top, then S and R moving inside horizontally. For things, both H and S will move upwards till the final position. So now the problem is animating with character level styling can be a little bit tricky. I'll tell you why. Let me click in here, go to tools, and if you see over here, all these parameters are animatable, right? Everything. The transform, if we open that up and if you look at this value, you can animate it. You can right click over here and click on animate. But if you go to the modifier tab, select these texts, well, you'll notice that we cannot animate these parameters. So if we go to shading and want to use this transform offset as an animation parameter, right click, you don't get that animate option. So how do we animate the character level styling? We can have individual controls of all these alphabets with character level styling, but it's not straightforward when it comes to animation. So go to text and if you look, the only parameter that we can animate in this character level styling are these three. We can animate the text, the font and the font style, but it is from here we can animate the whole of this character level styling. So anything that is animated in the character level styling gets one single curve in the spline editor, which is affected by all the parameters inside the character level styling. The same thing happens when we set the center of any tool to animate. Confused? Let me explain. Click inside the flow and let me add a background node and then add a transform node to that. Drag it to the viewer. Well, we are familiar with the fact that if we right click at the center and select animate, and maybe at this frame set the X value to 0.4. And then if we view the curve in the spline editor, well, we have only one parameter that controls both X and Y. For example, if we go here, change the X to 0.5 and at the same frame, if we set the Y to 0.2, we aren't getting two separate curves to control these two parameters individually. This is exactly the problem we'll face when we animate inside character level styling. So it's a little tricky, and that is why I have added this extra character level styling, which will offer us a separate animation parameter. Anyways, let me just show you how we can animate this. Go to frame 0 and select this T. Select T, and let's then go to shading, go down to transform and set the Y to 0.5. Okay, and then go to text and right click over here and select animate, or we can double click over here, either way it will work. Then go back into the shading, and at frame 100, let's set this value to 0.2. Let's set a key for that too. Now if we scroll along in the timeline, we have the animation for T. That's great, but let's also do the animation for R using the same character level styling, because we will have the same time range for the animation, that is from 0 to 100 frames. So select R, go to frame 0, and inside shading, go down to the transform, set the X to 0.5. Then let's set a key. Go to frame 100. Inside the shading, let's set the X transform to 0. And make sure that there is a key there. If we check in the timeline, we have the animation for both T and R. So far everything has worked for us, but what exactly is the problem, right? I'll show you what the problem is. I'm going to copy this one and then click inside the flow, Ctrl V to paste. Drag it over here. We want E also to be moving downwards, right? But I don't want the animation for E to end at 100, but it should go on till 170. Let's check if that is possible. So at frame 0, select E and then go to shading and set the transform Y to 0.6. And we'll set a key. Then go to frame 170 and under shading, set the transform Y to 0.2. Set the key. Now if we go to the spline editor, we have this one parameter that controls everything, all that we animate inside this character level styling. This is that one thing that controls the animation. Now the problem is, if we scroll, so far everything seems alright, but at 100, this E also has reached its final position, whereas it should have reached that position only at 170. And there's no way I can control it in the same character level styling. I can try deleting this keyframe. Now T and R both end only at 170 rather than ending at 100. So that's a problem that we have. So let's go to the flow and I'm going to delete this. Let's drag it in here. Now to solve that particular issue, I have added this second character level styling. So this time I'm going to close this one and open this. Once again, go to frame 0 and then select E. Go to shading and open the transform and set the Y to 0.6. Go to the text and double click over here to set a key. Go to frame 170. Under shading, set the transform Y to 0. Actually not 0, it should be 0.2. Go to text and double click here to set a key. Let's check our animation. And yes, E is not coming to rest at 100 and it goes on. So we are on track with this. We also need the same animation range for S. So select S, go to frame 0 and then go to shading and set the transform X to minus 0.5. Go into text and set a key. Alright, then go to frame 170, go to shading and set the transform X to 0. And yeah, set a key. So yeah, that is exactly what we wanted. Now let's go into the spline editor and look at what we have. This time around we have two parameters. This one for this character level styling and this one is for this character level styling. So if we click on this one, we have the animation from 0 to 100. And if we click on this one, we have the animation from 0 to 170. Select both of those. Click inside the graph editor, Ctrl A to select all the keyframes, press F to flat. Then let's press T, lock in and out and set this value to 50. Let's go back into the flow and do the same for the things. This time around, let's go to 0. Select H and then go to text. Actually go to shading and set the transform Y to -0.5. Go to text and then double click here to set a key. Then go to frame 120 and then again go to shading and set the transform Y to 0. Go to text and set a key. If we scroll in the timeline, it's working fine. We also need to animate S and the animation range for that is not 0 to 120 but 0 to 170. So we cannot use this character level styling. Let's close that and instead we'll use the second one. So let's go to 0 again, select S and then go to shading, open transform and set the transform Y to -0.6. Okay. And then go to text and double click here to set a key for that. Next, go to frame 170 and go to shading, set this value back to 0. Go to text and set a key there. So this is the animation and we can see that S will reach its final position only at 170. Go to the spline editor, fit. We have two curves as expected. Click inside the graph editor, Ctrl A to select, press F to flat and then set the handle values to 50. So let's go back into the flow, click in the flow and let's go ahead and play it. Well, the animation looks as expected. So now the text part is done, but still there are few things to be added. We need a line over here, one more over here and another here. So let's go ahead and do that. First, let's add a background node. In fact, I need 3 of them. So let's drag it here, go to tools and change the color to white. Now let's press Ctrl C to copy the background node and press Ctrl V to paste it here. Ctrl V to paste one more copy. So we have 3 background nodes right now. So this one I'm going to add one rectangle mask. For the rectangle mask, go to the properties window and set the height to 0.02. So now we have our line. Let's actually pull it up like so much. Let's also set the width to 0.675. We can maybe move it like so. I think that'll be fine. Okay, then let's copy this one, Ctrl C and paste it here. Connect this new rectangle mask to the mask input of this background node. Now let's select that and drag it down like so. And then let's decrease the width like that. Pull it there like so. Let's increase the width like that. I guess that looks good. So now connect the output of this background node to the output of this background node. Drag it over here. And all of these a little bit up. And let's also connect the output of this merge to the output of this merge. So drag it over here and see how it looks. Let's take this one and maybe move it a little bit down, like so. That looks good, I guess. Let's go forward. Now copy this rectangle and paste it here. Connect it to the mask input of this background and connect the output of this background to the output of this merge node. Okay, let's drag this one over here. Okay, so let's select this rectangle and then move it to this side. Well, we need to increase the width of that a little bit. Maybe that's a little too much, like so. So, almost there. Okay. So now we have a problem, that is the text characters are in outline form and the line is just solid. So we need to take care of that. So select this merge node, because we need to add the outline effect here, that is for the line alone. So press Shift spacebar, channel booleans. So select this one, press OK, drag it over there and click here in the flow and add a dilate erode node. So press Shift spacebar again and search for erode. Press OK. So connect the output of this merge to the background input of the erode node. Connect the output of this erode node to the foreground input of this channel boolean. Though if we just look at it, nothing has really changed. Obviously, we have not changed any value inside these nodes. So select this erode node and let's just bring this value down, like so. Now we can see that the lines have become a little bit thinner, but still doesn't achieve the result that we are looking for. So select the channel boolean node, and if you see the operation is set to copy, let's change it to subtract. So that gives us the result that we are looking for. If you want to adjust the thickness of the outline, select the erode node and we can adjust this value. This value looks fine for me. Fit. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up and do watch the next part. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. In case you're already subscribed, hit that bell icon so that you get notified for every single new upload in this channel at Thennika Creations. Share this video on your social media platforms. Thanks for watching, and this is Mohith signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.